Travelers nationwide are wondering if their flights will be delayed or, worse yet, canceled. And those concerns are growing. Many are asking whether this could spill into the busy Thanksgiving travel season. That's in less than 2 weeks. Currently, flights at major travel hubs across the country are cut by 4%. That number will climb to 10% in the coming days. This stems from air traffic controllers and TSA officers not getting paid during the shutdown. Here to guide us through the stress and anxiety of travel planning is the points guy, Clint Henderson. Clint, nice to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I wish I had better news to share.
This is going to be tough. People aren't going to be happy with us after this segment, but you know what? They will know what they need to know, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Let's say my flight gets canceled. What are my rights in terms of rebooking and trying to get some kind of refund from the airline?
Okay, let's start with some good news. The airlines are being very flexible right now. So if your flight is canceled, or if you decide you just don't want to travel, a lot of the airlines are saying that's fine, we'll refund you. You know, you do have the same rights that you always have since the Biden administration put rules into place that if your flight is canceled by the airline, you are entitled to a full and timely refund. And if the flight is delayed severely, same deal. So if you decide you don't want to travel, there are options for you. Now, if your flight is canceled and you want to take another flight, then you're not entitled to a refund. But the airlines will be more flexible than usual. So they'll let you change the date of the flight, maybe even change the airline if you ask really nicely. So more flexibility right now, but the news overall is bad across the board.
I'm curious, does the airline automatically rebook for you if your flight is canceled?
So in most cases, yes, but it doesn't always happen. For example, my colleague Summer Hall had a flight canceled from Houston to Fort Lauderdale. She noticed in the app right away, she called immediately, you got to jump on this to find alternate flights. So she was able to find alternate flights, but she was not automatically rebooked. So ideally, yes, they'll rebook you, but it's not a guarantee.
Let's talk delays. What is the best course of action for those facing hours and hours of delays, like from morning to afternoon or sometimes even the next day?
Yeah, you know, be an informed consumer. If you see lines like we saw at Houston last week of 5 to 7 hours, just don't even bother. Don't go to the airport. I would say call the airline, ask to be rebooked tomorrow or the next day. And toward that point, you've got to build in flexibility, especially as we head into the holidays. Give yourself a couple of days on each side of the trip that you can miss work or can't miss work, that you accommodate for that, because we just don't know what's going to happen. If this shutdown is dragging on to Thanksgiving, the busiest week of the year basically for travel, then I think it's Katie bar the door and we're in real trouble. I would build in some wiggle room or think to yourself, maybe this is the Thanksgiving I just stay home.
There are a lot of questions surrounding travel insurance as well, which provides the best protection for passengers in case of a canceled or delayed flight. What should we know about travelers insurance? I got to be honest, I usually opt out. Now is not the time to do that, I'm assuming.
You should opt out because those policies you can add on are generally overpriced and don't cover that much. Unfortunately, we usually tell people book with a credit card that offers trip delay and cancellation insurance. Unfortunately, it sounds to us like, and we're trying to get really firm answers, sounds to us at the points guy like these folks are not going to, this is considered a non-coverable incident. So I don't think trip delay and cancellation insurance is even going to kick in here. I don't think it's worth it to buy cancel for any reason insurance. It's too expensive. So what I would do instead is make sure all your bookings are refundable. And most airline tickets these days are. You can cancel and get your money back or at least a trip credit. Make sure you're booking cancelable hotels and car rentals as well.
What about flights that are most likely to get cut? Should we worry about those smaller regional flights or those jumbo jets flying overseas?
Jumbo jets will not be canceled. Hub-to-hub flights are not going to be canceled. So in other words, I go to Montana to see my dad sometimes, right? I'm flying from JFK, Salt Lake City, connecting to a regional flight to Butte, Montana. If I was a traveler, I would have a rental car booked in Salt Lake City just in case that hub-to-hub for Delta is going to run, but that regional flight from Salt Lake City to Butte might not run. So I'm going to have a rental car booked as a backup in case I need to drive the rest of the way. So you got to be really crafty right now.
Yeah, plan ahead. And you and I were just talking about Thanksgiving. It's less than 3 weeks away. First, if we want to buy airline tickets now, is there anything we can do to protect ourselves? Or do we just hold off for a few more days and hope this shutdown ends?
Well, you can buy a ticket, but here's what I would do. I would have a backup ticket on a different airline using miles and points, or at least a refundable ticket. So if one of the flights doesn't go, you have an alternative. Check out train schedules. I know it's not ideal, but sometimes if you live in the Northeast, for example, a train might be the best way to go. You know, there's all kinds of alternatives. Maybe this is the year you drive home for Thanksgiving. Gas prices are lower. So maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. Maybe you just skip Thanksgiving and go home for Christmas.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.